Are you still optimizing for Google alone while your audience is searching on YouTube, TikTok, and even AI platforms? My guest will be helping you with that. Welcome back. On this podcast, we bring expert interviews and actionable tips to help you master marketing without the overwhelm. If this sounds like your vibe, make sure to subscribe to the podcast or check us out on YouTube. Today, I am so excited to be chatting with Georgie Kemp. With experience leading teams of 25 specialists before turning 30, Georgie is a powerhouse in digital strategy, known for turning complex SEO data into actionable growth tactics. As a strategist at Veed, she is at the forefront of how AI and video content are reshaping search. Georgie champions a holistic SEO approach, one that blends time-tested fundamentals with agile experimental frameworks to stay ahead. Welcome, Georgie. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much, Jen. So excited to be here.
I can't wait to talk to you. I'm one of those people that get so excited when a client comes to me and says that they did a search on Google and in the AI that comes up, it was my video from YouTube or my information from a podcast. Like I get so excited because I'm working every day at this. So when I saw all your information, I'm like, oh, we have to have her on the show. And I'm really excited you're here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I love the enthusiasm as well, exactly how I feel. So excited to dig into it.
Yay! I nerd out on all that stuff. Okay, so we're going to start at the beginning. Tell me a little bit about the windy road that really led you to what you're doing today.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in SEO for around a decade now, and I'd say it's been quite a journey. So definitely that windy road, as you said. I started off like agency side, working with smaller businesses. So thinking like the one-person companies, the solo entrepreneurs, wearing all those different hats. And I started off as mainly an extension of their marketing team, because like when you're running everything yourself, you really don't have time to be an SEO expert on top of photographer, coach, like whatever your core business is, as you very well know, Jen. So I think that what I loved about that part of my career is like focusing on the impact. So like we couldn't waste time on the vanity metrics or the complex strategy. And like SEO like notoriously can take months and months. So for me, like I wanted to show results like in an instant for these companies. So I think that like my sort of start in my career is actually what's going to drive leads, what's going to make revenue for this business. And that's helpfully like started to shape my entire approach to SEO, like ruthlessly prioritizing what's actually going to move the needle. And then around, I'd say 2023, really started noticing like my own search behavior changing and like really being like completely different as opposed to the classic 10 red shoes, like that very rigid search structure, which I think we've all been noticing. Like now we're asking ChatGPT like super quick questions as opposed to Googling, like maybe we're on TikTok, we're on Pinterest, or even on Reddit at midnight, like searching for specific reviews on something that we want to buy. So yeah, I kind of just thought if I'm doing this, that our audience, our customers are definitely doing this as well.
100%. And I would really say that since the advent of AI, SEO has because SEO was pretty much SEO. Like there were tweaks and things like that, but AI has just opened up this world. So SEO is changing fast, I think. How should service-based businesses or entrepreneurs rethink SEO in 2026 and beyond? Because we want to be doing these things immediately, right? The people that jumped on, like myself back in 2022 in November, I think when AI first came out, I've like been on it ever since. And there's some people that still aren't on AI. So
100%. I mean, we love to hear that you've been the first mover advantage, 100%. And I think that it kind of gives us the first mover advantage, which is what SEO was back in the day. And now we see like these large organizations really sucking up a lot of that search visibility. And like now AI is setting the playing field again, which is brilliant. And yeah, we absolutely love to see it. So I would definitely say that as you said, Jen, like SEO is moving so fast. And I'd say that this is definitely the biggest mindset shift. That SEO isn't just Google anymore. And I think for SEOs in my position, it could sound quite scary. Like I've built up my start of my career the past 10 years. But I would say it's actually a really good thing for different service providers, which is great news, hopefully, for your listeners. Let me address the elephant in the room that everyone is saying. I wake up every day to LinkedIn. Traditional SEO is falling flat. It's dying. So I think that I wanted to bring like a couple of studies and would love to add them to the show notes as well if your listeners would
Oh,
to read
yes, we
into them.
love studies.
So there's this really amazing person called Rand Fishking. He owns an audience-based company called SparkToro. And in August, they analyzed a range of different clickstream data, so recording the whole user journey across your website. And the findings completely contradict what all of these big headlines are saying. Basically, he went into the weeds of this kind of data and he found that like Google search actually grew 21% between 2023 and 2024, which is when we started to see that massive acceleration of AI. And in the US specifically, Google searches went from over 215 billion to 216 billion. So mobile searches were also up significantly more, over 40%. So like, of course, I will go into talking around like the rapid rise of AI. But I think what we also have to understand is that traditional search traffic isn't declining. Heavy Google users actually increased from 84% to 87%. So just to add to that as well, like what I would say is like the critical part, like the landscape in itself and search in itself is expanding. So as of October, ChatGPT hit 800 million weekly active users, and Google's AI overviews, those AI summaries at the top of your Google search results, reached 2 billion monthly users. It's huge. It's so exciting. And I think that for me, like search behavior is becoming more fragmented, but it's not actually replacing overall.
I've heard a lot of people, and by people, I mean not SEO or marketing people, business owners, small business owners, talking about how we don't even need SEO experts anymore because we'll just go to ChatGPT, which I think is the biggest mistake because, like you said, it's getting more segmented, it's getting more specific now. In order to be able to do what you need, it's not really keywords anymore. It's like a string of sentences sometimes.
Yeah.
So what would you say to people who said, I don't really need to worry about SEO anymore?
Yeah, I think it's a really great question because what we're actually seeing is we're learning a lot more about AI search as a whole. So that's being ChatGPT, Claude, whatever your AI tool of choice is that about 90% of traditional SEO practices are cross-referencing with AI search. So if you have those solid foundations for SEO, you'll naturally start to see visibility across these AI search platforms. Why is that? Because a lot of the AI's training data is based on Google and Bing. So naturally they're pulling towards like who's already ranking in Google search. However, that extra 10%, I think that even if you're not currently showing up on Google search, there's some hacks that I'll go into a little bit later around like how we can sneak to the top of AI search and help to increase that visibility. So I would say there's two sides of the coin. I would still say focusing on the fundamentals of making sure that you're answering your user's query, you're being obsessed with what your customers are asking for and making sure that you're answering that question. So whether it is the traditional search terms that I previously mentioned, or if it is like something incredibly specific, make sure that you are able to answer that holistically and better than any real competitors in the space.
I have a friend who's an SEO person, and so we chat all the time about this. And I almost feel like it's more important to have SEO people now help, because now you're navigating all the different ways that you're going to show up, right? If we want to get in that AI, which everyone's wanting to be there, right? Because it's way at the top of the search bar, right under your search before the ads. I think it's even more important now that we focus on those fundamentals of, like you just said, answering client questions. It's not really about the keywords. It's about the string of words that describe what your clients are going through and how you can help them. Like I think it's like more important now with AI almost.
Absolutely. And I think that it's actually forced SEOs to get out of the headspace of, okay, we're just writing something from a keywords and actually understands what your customers are asking for. So the beauty of what we're seeing in the AI space and the evolution of search is you need to show up across like multiple different surfaces, like not just your website anymore. So like now as
Yes.
SEOs, we're not actually just optimizing for Google, we're not just optimizing for AI search, but we're actually thinking about expanding those platforms wherever our customers are, whether that be YouTube, Pinterest, Google, AI tools, but also online communities. And I'm finding it
Yes.
fascinating, like slightly ripping up that traditional SEO playbook.
Yes, it's fun.
Exactly.
I think
And
it's fun to change things up, you know?
100%. And like in my world, like we're calling it multi-service optimization. And for me, like
Oh, that's good.
your content still needs to meet the needs of your customers wherever they are. So we're not just optimizing for that Google. If they're in
Correct.
Reddit, if they're on YouTube, we need to be showing up there. So I think that's something that's really interesting, which is definitely changing up the search space and can apply to whatever business is already out there.
I totally agree. Okay, so switching it just a little bit. You say that video is the most underestimated marketing channel, which I fully agree with. Why would you say that is? And how can service providers really start using it today?
Yeah, I do work at Veed. We're a video editing and creation platform. So I think naturally that has pulled me into the amazing intersection of SEO, AI, and video. And I think from leading the team at Veed firsthand for nearly 2 years, it's actually made it even more compelling why video is so underestimated. And there's a couple of data points to back this up. Now, YouTube, we are seeing appears in around 30% of those Google's AI overviews, making it, and you've been grinding on YouTube, so you've been putting in the work.
I'm so excited. Pinterest is always my traffic driver to my
Mm,
website, but video is how my students typically learn Pinterest. You can say things all you
mm,
want, but seeing it in action tends to just help so much better, I think.
definitely.
And that, yeah, that's where I'm showing up big on AI. I feel like anybody who puts short form videos on Instagram should open a YouTube and use
Mm.
those same videos, maybe make some slight changes for verbiage and making sure you're filling it out all fully. But putting it on there is so important right now because that's going to be just a whole nother platform where you're not having to create content because you already have it. You already have the content. Repurpose, people.
100%. Squeeze the juice, just really keep squeezing it.
Yes.
And yeah, I would say that a lot of marketers in itself have been underestimating video, and there's a few different reasons that like I've personally seen, and Bede's been doing some research on marketers. And I think the first one is definitely a legacy mindset, and two is outdated workflows. So what we found is that some people and some marketers are still seeing video in that 2015 mindset. It's like extremely
Yes.
expensive to produce, and you've got these really long timelines. You need a videographer, but that's not necessarily the case with what we're seeing.
And those are the videos that don't do as well as just a cell phone with face to cam. If we're being honest, I don't put cover photos anymore on Instagram. Like I don't do any, I just put it out there. And I was doing it really to save time.
Mm.
But what I've found is people want that. It looks more authentic if it's not some pretty perfect curated video or cover photo oftentimes.
Absolutely. I think that's something a lot more lo-fi will definitely suit with different audiences. And I think that's where like getting out your phone and just like testing different things to understand like how your audience resonates with that. So I'd say from my side, like video in 2015 isn't just a content format, but it's also now a search format. So if anything, it should be imperative for marketers to be jumping on this. But like, how do you actually get into this? Some people aren't happy to get in front of the camera, absolutely fine. But I think that there's a couple of different simple workflows which I can maybe suggest so you can start to see those overall
Yeah.
returns. And part of Veed's story is that we were built on SEO, and that was one of our biggest growth drivers for
Huge.
so long. And part of that is because we had the intersection of SEO and video. So we've been having a YouTube channel for probably about the past 6 years, all based on SEO keywords, like what our customers are asking for. I think that what I would suggest just to start to get that feedback loop is pull through your top 10 most asked questions from your clients. And then
Yes.
also just, you don't need any SEO tools, like you don't need anything like that right now, but record a 60, 90-second answers on your phone. Again, something lo-fi, just you, good natural lighting, your phone
Yes.
propped up. Upload that
Yes.
one video everywhere. So whether that is YouTube with that exact question, it's going to be hitting your target audience on the head.
Huge.
Upload it as an Instagram reel, upload it to your website as an FAQ page. That one piece of content, which probably took you 5 minutes, now 3 to 5 different distribution areas.
Yes, yes. I mean, we could dive in all over the place. We're going to dive in even more here. I'm very excited about this conversation. But so you mentioned multi-service optimization. So what does that mean? And how can a small business apply it without a huge team? I think Veed does that very well, makes it more approachable.
100%. And I think that like we all have to start somewhere. And once you start to see those results, so I think stripping it back in terms of the learnings, that's what's worked for us. To start off, like multi-surface optimization just means that you're showing up wherever your audience actually is searching. And now it is just across those multi-platforms and not just Google. So your clients now may be searching Google for specific solutions, YouTube for those tutorials or seeing you in action, like you mentioned, like Pinterest for visual inspiration, AI chat tools for the recommendations, and Reddit for really authentic, unfiltered, like real opinions. So I would say that you shouldn't create content for each specific platform, in my opinion, to get started.
I mean, you could, but that's going to be a lot of time.
If you have a 100-person team, like stunning, love that. But you're creating like one
good for
strong,
you.
exactly. You can create one strong piece of content and keep adapting it. And I feel like for me, that's been the whole strategy, no matter the size of the business. And now with the introduction of AI, that can definitely help. So what I would say is that if you're able to understand like what your customers are asking you, asking those specific questions, write a detailed blog post around that. So around 800 to 1,000 words, making it specific, actionable. Film yourself actually talking through those key points. So again, like 2 to 3 minutes on your phone, and then creating like this like simple checklist PDF. And then I think that you can find ways to adapt it for different surfaces. So again, just think how your consumers are finding you. So Google could be a blog post on your website with the question as the H1, or YouTube, again, like uploading it with the key title around the question. There's so many different ways that you can then work to adapt it based on search data to help to improve your overall discoverability chances across that multi-surface.
Yes, I'm very big on talking about a system. Like you need a system because a system helps you to do the work faster every single time. So like I film my video. That is literally my core piece of content. Then I have shorts that come from that go on all the platforms. Then in my blog goes the video and my podcast. And those blogs get the most views over blogs without video. So that's something I have found that really helps as well. So how would you say that user search behaviors are evolving around Google? And what platforms do you think that our audience should really be paying attention to?
Yeah, I mean, great question. And I think we'd love to put it back to you, Jen, in terms of like, when was the last time that you used ChatGPT instead of asking Google something?
Yeah, I mean, all the time. I go to the next level. I'm like, okay, so I'll ask my question and I'll say deep dive and do some research to bring me a variety of options.
100%.
I mean, I know Google must be freaking out. Or, well, now they're using it in search. So
exactly, that exact use case. And like, I've been speaking to other people in the industry and even gone to different conferences, and the same thing happens. Everyone's using ChatGPT or similar different AI tools like every single day, and we've got that search behavior, and your clients are definitely doing the same thing. Like the search landscape is completely fragmented in just the last year, which is incredible, terrifying at the same time. But I feel like nowadays, like what used to happen, someone would type into Google like that specific query, spend 2 weeks actually clicking around 10 different websites. Now it's actually you're typing in that hyper specific query, and actually you get 2 to 3 really specific recommendations with examples, and maybe they take 2 to 3 days to then reach back out to you. That is something which is really interesting, but it's important. Google isn't necessarily declining, but in terms of specific tools, I've kind of mentioned them throughout, but as part of our SEO strategy, we're never
Yeah.
going to throw all of our eggs into AI search. Not right now, anyway. I may look back in 3
No.
years' time and
Yeah.
regret saying that.
No, I think you're right because there's going to be, people that are looking at AI and putting some regulations on it. And there's going to be a lot of change in AI. I liken AI coming out to when computers came out in
Mhm.
the 80s, right? Like that's what I liken it to because it's kind of a free for all for a while. Then it starts getting like a normal standard and then regulations or rules, like all the different things that come up for it.
Mm.
And I think honestly, in today's market, you shouldn't put all your eggs in any one basket. If I'm being honest, I don't know that you'll miss out on something if you do that.
I completely agree. And I think that's why for search, it's definitely evolving to search everywhere optimization, wherever your customers are. And I think you need to get data behind you to understand like where are your consumers finding you. And I think
Yes.
that like when people are reaching out to you, actually understanding and asking them, like whether it's on an online form or if it is like face to face, like actually understanding, yeah, how did you actually find me? Because we've started to see at Veed, for example, that the traffic from ChatGPT now accounts of 10% of our overall traffic attribution to the website, which is absolutely massive. So I would definitely say start to gather that data to understand where your customers are coming from. Don't abandon Google because again, it's all to do with the training data. It's where probably 90% of your consumers
Yes.
will be.
Yes.
But YouTube, it's its own search algorithm in its own right, and it's starting to pull through into Google, into AI search. But then also start to dip into these AI chat tools. ChatGPT is probably
Yeah.
like the one we should put the majority of your effort in.
Like in my mind, that kind of is the case. And like Pinterest is a search marketing platform, YouTube is a search marketing platform,
Mm.
Google is a search marketing platform. So, what you say and the questions that you answer that your clients have, those are the best for getting found. But one thing I will say, and I say this in a lot of episodes, so I'm sure my listeners are like, yeah, I've heard this all before. I feel very strongly that most small business owners do not ask really good questions after somebody comes to them for like a discovery call. In 2021, I went back and researched all of my clients in 2020, having conversations with them again, asking them specifics about what they had told me of where they found me. My data was 80% Instagram and about 20% Pinterest.
Mm.
But when I went in 2021 to talk to them all again, it wasn't Instagram. It was Pinterest because there's a journey that clients take.
Mm.
And almost always from Pinterest, if they click through to your website and they're interested, but they're not ready to make a decision yet, which a lot of people are in that camp, they go to Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn or wherever they're comfortable to follow you and hear what you say and how you say it and what's important to you and what you're teaching or educating. So oftentimes when you ask a potential client, oh, how did you find me? And they say Instagram, that's it.
Mm.
But you need to ask that second clarifying question of how did you find me on Instagram? Were you using hashtags or did a client recommend you so we can thank that client? And almost always they pause and then they're like, oh, no, actually, I found you. So it's usually Google or YouTube or Pinterest is where they found me. They're just going along for the ride and learning that like know, like, and trust process. So I think it's really important at this junction
Yeah.
to make sure that as a business owner, you're asking that second clarifying question because otherwise your data is wrong. And you're spending all this time on Instagram when actually, for me, Pinterest drives the most traffic to my website every single month. It's always the most. And YouTube is where most people convert
Mm.
to wanting to work with me. So I know that, and that's where I'm putting in my time. But sometimes people don't know that.
100%, and like that comparison in just a couple of years as well says it all. And as like small business owners, like you don't need to be active everywhere every single day. Like don't burn yourself out. And I think like focus is everything. Like you do need to make sure that you have presence on the platforms that are working for you. It's definitely not that
Yes.
linear journey anymore. Like it's definitely that multi-platform
No.
presence. And I think the more you speak to your customers around how they're finding you and also their search journey. So I would say you're not creating different content for each. Again, just to pull it full circle, you're creating that one helpful piece of content, making sure that it lives strategically across those different surfaces. wherever your customers are.
Amazing. Can you break down like what a test and learn approach to AI search looks like for someone with limited time and limited tech skills?
Yeah, as I'm leading organic search at Veed, this has been super top of mind. Like, I can read everything on LinkedIn that's working for some people, but it may not work for us. I think going back to we're slightly ripping up the traditional SEO playbook, like I absolutely love that
Yes.
because I'm getting back into that experimental phase to understand, like, again, and getting
Yes.
back to the start of my career, what's going to move the needle with the least amount of effort from myself. So I would definitely say that this is an approach which I've seen that's shown visibility in sometimes a couple of days, which is brilliant. We love to hear it. And it probably takes a couple of hours to actually get started. So the first one would be just a really quick audit. Again, I'm not saying invest in any tools. That's the beauty of all these AI search tools now. Open ChatGPT, open Claude. Again, they both have the free versions. And I would ask them the different variations of, okay, who is the best for your service providers and for your ideal client? Or who should I look for when I'm hiring X service? Like those sorts of prompting questions will start to give you an overall idea around the responses that are being pulled through into AI search. This is me saying that you don't need to use an AI search tracking platform right now. You want to have a proof of concept to show that it's working. What I would do at this point is screenshot those responses. AI search is as volatile
Yes.
as Google search. They are changing every single day. But just start to document like who's showing up on a frequent basis. If you're not there, and you probably won't be yet, that's totally fine. But look who is and why are they getting mentioned. So you can start to understand like what sort of content are these AI tools really favoring and why is that? Usually it would
Yeah.
be because they're creating a specific piece of content, whether that's a blog around a specific prompt. So those prompts that I
Mm-hmm.
said around the start, that will start to
Mm-hmm.
help you get an idea around certain blog topics that you can create. It's a little bit hacky right now, but as I said earlier, like AI search is setting the level playing field again. But it'll start to improve your overall visibility if you're saying best web designers in X city.
Yeah.
Like you can start to go back to
Yeah.
that sort of phase because AI search is still training on that data. But what I would suggest is starting that overall baseline, like where are you today? And if you want to get more sophisticated with tracking, you can invest in different tools. But again, like right
Yes.
now, I would say all of that content is right there for you.
Sometimes you don't want to talk to either past clients or potential clients about these questions or research type questions. I always ask this to all my clients. How did you find me? What prompted you to find a Pinterest manager?
Mm,
All those questions in that discovery call is gold. Like,
definitely.
take all of those and use that for content. That is my secret weapon, is just that information.
I love that. I mean, that in itself is the strategy, and it's just about digesting that into the structure that LLMs definitely favor. So
Yes.
a way that they tend to favor certain types of content is structuring in a way that's super easy for them to understand. So tables,
Yeah.
comparison charts, like clear heading
Yes.
structures, like bullet points, numbered lists. That way they can easily digest what your content is saying and then put it directly into their recommendations. So I would
I love
say,
that.
as part of your content approach, number one, speak to your customers on those discoverability calls, like you said, Jen. How did they find you? What are their key questions and what led them to find you? Write a blog
Yeah,
post.
what were your struggles, right?
Yeah,
Just knowing what they struggle
yeah.
with is so helpful.
Definitely. Those pain points, that's what you want to be answering because that's when people will be making that decision-making process. So you could create 1, 2, 5 blogs like helping to use AI and actually using that actual question in the heading itself, breaking it into different formats is definitely a way that we've been seeing to get into AI search pretty much overnight, especially for those like really niche specific queries. Because if you're thinking about this in this depth in order to acquire customers, so are your competitors as well.
What are a few sort of quick win SEO or content strategies that listeners can try this week to improve visibility. SEO, I mean, I think we need to say this because we haven't yet, and I think it's important. SEO is not a one and done. I cannot say how many people I've talked to that they have never touched their SEO since someone set it up for them. That's like number one, right?
Yeah.
But what are some sort of quick wins that people can get?
100%. And I'd say that like the first one is definitely that AI content audit that I just mentioned. So what are those 10 questions that your ICP would ask about your service, and be like incredibly specific? Because as you said, Jen, like the prompts are now extremely long, extremely specific, but that means that you're going to hit that target audience on their head. You get that list in 30 seconds from ChatGPT, and now you can then work to create different blogs around it, create video posts, social posts, etc. And then also pick those top 3 questions that you're not currently answering and put them in your content calendar. I would say that is probably number 1. 2 is like what we found is that LLMs and AI search tools favor content freshness. That means a window of under 30 to 60 days, which isn't ideal. However, go back and see what your top performing blog posts are. Make a couple of tweaks, like
another one.
Yes. Or just update to 2026.
Yes, I do. Every year I go to all my top blogs and I update them. I will add links to other spots on my website or links to other people that would be helpful. It's all about helpful content, like human helpful content. Exactly. We're not writing just for Google anymore, I think.
No, and that strategy, I will just say, is perfect. It's that evergreen piece of content. You're already creating so much value. You're already getting traffic to it. So that is exactly what I would recommend from the SEO world as well.
Good.
Keep going back, keep updating that. That same is, of course, like what I'd recommend. And what I would say is thirdly is like showing up authentically in one specific community. So like right now, like we're going quite deep into Reddit because Reddit is one of the biggest cited domains on LLMs as well. And I think not just shoving your brand into the conversation like when it's not needed, but actually, as you said, Jen, that being that helpful person, you're the expert in the field. So if someone's having a struggle in your space, actually going in, being helpful, I think could definitely help further down the line and help to increase like brand and business visibility as well.
I know Reddit. I've been on Reddit, but only as a person looking through it versus from a business perspective. So I have learned something huge on this episode. I'm going to go start helping because I love helping people out on Pinterest stuff. Like that's a passion of mine. So I never even thought about going on to Reddit and adding helpful answers or helping people with their problems in that area.
Definitely.
That's so smart.
I love it.
It's really good.
It can take about 10 minutes, but I think for us, it's actually forced us to be that one step closer to the customers. And I'm so grateful for this evolution of search because I think that it's definitely widened my overall headspace in terms of understanding who our customers are and actually like learning their pain points and sharing it with the rest of the team as well.
Yeah. As we're starting to wrap things up, what are 3 things that have helped you to grow your business? It could be tools, advice, really anything.
I would say that this one saves me on a daily basis, and it is a classic AI meeting note taker. However, if you are to see me in meetings prior to this, I would be frantically writing things down because I have to make sure I have all of the information because I just can't digest it at the same time. But then I'm not listening to what you're saying. So this is this is saved
that is
my
one
life.
of my favorite things from AI is the fact that I can have a note taker, and if you have a really good note taker, it'll tell you your action items as well.
100%. And I use one called Granola, and it's got like a chatbot function. And something that I've actually started to do as I've been managing my team as specialists is actually being more reflective with it and actually asking, okay, you have monitored like a range of these different meetings that I'm having, like how am I showing up as a leader in the space? And what are those action items I can potentially improve as a leader in terms of my communication or my delivery? Am I not sticking to the overall meeting agenda? I feel like you could definitely flip that in terms of like how you're with these
Ah,
different discoverability calls. Like, are people actually
yes.
getting out of it what they're asking,
Needed to pay
questions?
attention better.
Yeah,
I think that's so smart.
exactly that. So I would say that's definitely number one that's changed my life, not to be dramatic. And then I'd say the second one for me would be, as I'm digging more into Reddit, this 10 to 1 community rule.
You can't be
No,
salesy anymore, I don't think, on
exactly.
marketing. You have to be offering good information.
Exactly. Like people are going to sniff it out, and it's just not what you want your brand to be known for. So I would say that 10 to 1 rule that I'm starting to pull through is like contribute 10 times before you even mention yourself once. Like being helpful to your customers is something that I'm standing by. Like I'm loving it in Reddit, in LinkedIn, in Facebook,
How
etc.
fun.
So I would say
Yeah.
that's definitely my second one. And then the third one for me would be treating video like written content. So that strategy shift. Like for so long, I've been writing blog posts, I've been doing X, Y, and Z. But with video, I'm definitely now treating it like a blog post where I'm starting with that overall research, whether it's from Google, whether it's from LLMs, from our customers ourselves, answer that specific question, optimize the title, structure it clearly, distribute it strategically, and then just measure what works. Because again, what works for me might not work for you, but that's also fine.
That's so good. I agree with every single thing that you said. And that doesn't always happen. Before we get to the gift that you're sharing with our audience, tell everyone briefly about the services that you provide in case anyone listening is, oh my gosh, I really need Georgie's help.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I said, I lead the SEO at Veed. Veed is a video editing and video creation company specifically for marketers to help you improve your overall visibility in whatever that you'd like to offer. We have a range of different editing suite options, like things that you wouldn't even believe are out there. We basically help teams create video faster and smarter. So we help to improve your overall workflows, whether that be add subtitles to a video, translate. There's a whole range of different things that you can do on our platform. Come check us out, see what you think.
Yeah, we'll have the link on there
Yeah,
so you guys can go
definitely.
check it out. So if you're driving your kids home from school, just wait till you get home. We'll have all the links for
Definitely.
you. Awesome. You are offering two freebies today. So everyone out there is going to be super excited. Tell everyone what the freebies are and how they will help our audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first one is a guide that I've created all around what I've been speaking today. So how can you actually
Good.
optimize video for AI search? It's basically taking you through what are the key takeaways. So a couple of those different statistics that I've mentioned, of course, I'll keep updating, but the clear actionable takeaways and checklists that you can start to put into action today. So I go into a little bit more depth into some of those like key actions. Take a read of that. Let me know what you think. The second one is something that we've been doing at our team at Veed within the marketing function. So like we know how easy it is to create video at scale. However, speaking to marketers, they don't feel the same, which is completely understandable. Basically, what we've done, we spoke to over 800 different marketers and we created a research backed report, which is called The Ultimate Guide to Video Marketing Because of AI. So basically, we've talked to different top marketing leaders and we've pulled through different statistics around what are those pain points for marketers right now. And we've got different chapters around, okay, branded videos, social ads, product launches, whatever that may be,
Mm,
and that certain checklist at the end, and how you can start to automate certain areas with using AI. So I've got the report
that's amazing.
in the show notes. Let me know what you think. And then, of course, try out Veed. We've definitely got a free plan. So see what you think. And yeah, I'd say that the biggest hurdle is definitely starting with video. And that's the most exciting part.
Yes, for sure. I believe that every business owner needs to have video as part of their marketing if they want to stay current and they want to grow.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have always felt like that,
Yeah.
but even more today.
Absolutely.
If you all listening or watching found some ideas and tips that you can implement in your business, we would love for you to leave a review and go out there and do something good for your business, like snagging Georgie's gifts, both of them. But make sure that you put some time on your calendar next week or the week after. So after you sign up for it, we don't want it just sitting in your email box. We want you to take it, we want you to absorb it, and then we want you to apply it to your business. Take action. That is truly the only way for your business to grow. Thank you, Georgie. I
Thank you
really
so much.
appreciate your time today and your advice. Just incredible. And I can't wait to go check Veed out.
Thank you so much, Jen, for having me. Thank you, everyone.